A big welcome to everybody who's watching today. A Bible verse I read this week prompted me to think about sharing and what it really meant. The concept of sharing, as we know, is often very difficult for young children to grasp. They live in a world that is all about them. So sharing their things with others can be difficult to get them to do. I remember quite a few years ago, my niece was 4 and we took her to Pizza Express for a meal. And she particularly liked dough balls, and so that was one of the things that she ordered. I'd never tasted them before, so I asked her if she would share a dough ball with me. And her reply was, "No, I don't share my dough balls with anybody because I like them too much." So I did say to her, would she ever share her dough balls? And she said no. And I said, what about when you get married? If you get married, you make vows and you have to share everything you have with your husband. And she said, well, I'm not going to do that. So I said, oh, well, I'll remind you of that on your wedding day. To which she replied, well, on my wedding day, by the time I get married, you'll be so old you'll have forgotten what you've said or you'll be dead. I have to say she's now a lovely, caring 21-year-old who I'm sure would share her dough balls with anybody. However, sharing is not just a lesson for children. As adults, God calls us to share with those in need and to be generous. Sharing also blesses the giver as well as the receiver. The verse in Hebrews 13 that I read was, do not forget to do good and share with others, for with such sacrifices God is pleased. Jesus shared his faith, his wisdom, his time with the disciples, and he sacrificed his life for us. We may think we share what we have, but is what we give just a surplus of what we have or a sacrifice? The first Christian church set the bar high when they demonstrated biblical sharing. In order to finance the increasing family of brothers and sisters in Christ, those who owned valuables sold them for the common good. In Acts chapter 4, it says that they shared everything they had and there were no needy persons amongst them. What a wonderful example to us today, and what a challenge. In 1 John 3, it says, dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth. Sharing is a way of showing our love to others. It doesn't have to be sharing possessions. It can mean sharing our time with others. Time is very precious, isn't it, to us all? And so sadly, sometimes it is something that we never seem to have enough of. And I think particularly of those young people, particularly young couples who are working full-time and trying to manage a family and childcare at the same time. It's so difficult for them to have time. Even time with their families is a struggle. Time is precious to us all, but there are people who are lonely or struggling who appreciate us sharing our time with them. And also sharing our time with God is vital too, through prayer and Bible reading, as is sharing our faith with others. As we can see, sharing can take many forms, not just the dough balls in Pizza Express, but God looks at our heart attitude. Sharing keeps us humble. free from the love of money. We are most like Jesus when we share ourselves with those he brings into our lives. I pray that this week we can share with others, whether it's our possessions, our things, our time, or our faith, in order that others may see God's love in us.